Sony, Microsoft, AMD, Nvidia, KFC. What do all these companies have in common? Maybe it's their secret recipe. Let's dive into what's happening with these hardware shortages, when this crisis will be under control, and what you can do to pass the time on this issue of the Gamerville Gazette. Hello residents of Gamerville, and welcome back to your trusted news source, the Gamerville Gazette. As always, I am your host, Theodore Smith, aka Teddy, here to give you the inside scoop on today's top headlines. For months, one headline has been dominating gaming news. Well, besides the release of Cyberpunk. And that headline is, when is my preferred next-gen hardware going to be in stock? A valid question following a year filled with the illness that shall not be named, keeping us at home more than ever before. And considering what great examples of social engagement we were beforehand...
I have your front! I have your front! I have your front! Let's go! Don't do it! No! These kids are sharp!
That is truly an amazing feat. More time at home equals more time to play games, which equals it's time for an investment in our future of our gaming experiences. And with the launch of incredible next-gen machines, it seemed like a match made in heaven. But what happens when stock in the dozens meets demand in the millions? Welcome to Gamerville Fight Club, where the first rule is get good, scrub! It's as if all of our training in PUBG and Fortnite has manifested itself into a battle royale for the ages. 100 enter the ring, and there's only one winner. And by winner, I mean they likely end up in some sort of second ring, like Hunger Games 2 with the quarter quell, because you wish your odds were 1 out of 100. That's right. I hope you've been training in CSGO at about 240 FPS, because you have a window of about 0.00003 seconds to click the buy now button before the 4 to 5 console graphics cards that were on sale for the day are already sold out. Also, just like CSGO, half of the time you're actually competing against people using bots rather than their own skills in order to grab one of these coveted pieces of hardware. I hope you like Dark Souls, because these AI powerhouses will be eating your lunch over and over again. Don't think they like peanut butter and jelly? Think again. Now, the residents of Gamerville are up for a challenge. That's what I love about you. You've taken down Sephiroth to stop Meteor from hitting the planet. You've defeated Ganondorf countless times, saving Hyrule and her inhabitants from a terrible fate. A few of you even saved Metropolis from the machinations of Lex Luthor that involved kryptonite fog and evil rings that you had to fly through or something. Anyway, you are getting used to the odds getting stacked against you, right? Enter cryptocurrency miners and electronic scalpers. These people have breathed new life into back alley dealings. Remember the days of goons and lookouts? The era where babies would be shaken down in the shadows, forced to give up their goods before the coppers arrived. Well, it would seem that those bygone days have returned, albeit in a much more Bladerunner clothed aesthetic. And honestly, I hate to demonize these folk, hustling to make a buck out there. But when one person is able to score hundreds of GPUs or consoles, while the rest of us struggle just to buy one of these modern miracles, it really is hard to justify their point of view. In fact, Janai McGregor of Forbes actually tried to understand the mindsets of these e-thieves this past week in his interview with one of the masterminds behind the scalping situation, a man named Jordan. He stated, "There seems to be a lot of bad press on this incredibly valuable industry, and I do not feel it is justified. All we are acting as is a middleman for limited quantity items." Oh, is that all? Well, surely then I can't understand what all the hubbub is about. It's not like you went out on November 1st, bought all the turkeys in a 50-mile radius, and then resold them from a sketchy van on the side of the road at twice the price. Wait, that's exactly what you did. The only difference is that turkey isn't even all that good. We just eat it because it's Thanksgiving, and that's what the pilgrims said that we're supposed to eat. Otherwise, I can only assume that some sort of turkey monster will come for our children in the night. So, if you hate scalpers, be sure to leave this video a like. And if you are a scalper, leave this video a dislike. I don't care either way since YouTube still counts that as engagement, so the joke's on you. And don't think you crypto miners have been spared my criticism. Remember that guy who bought the 78 RTX 3080s and then put them into a single rig with enough RGB that it looked like a unicorn rave, but instead of music it was just a mind-numbing sound of fans spinning? Well, in a recent interview with Tech Radar, Simon Byrne is back, and with a new project of his own creation. Converting the trunk of his BMW i8 into a portable mining rig, quote, just to annoy gamers. I'm not in crypto to make a fast buck, but I'll take the bonus. I'm in it because it's a vision of a utopian world where services are acquired through voluntary relationships. It blows my mind how heroic and noble these guys think they are in their efforts, when in reality their greed and gluttony is preventing thousands of gamers from being able to eke out a little joy from escaping into digital worlds on the latest hardware to bridge the gap between fantasy and reality. I mean, Simon, let's not get carried away here. You're no hero. You're just a guy with a strange hobby and no girlfriend. You're just like us. When you're ready to admit that and apologize to Gamerville for all of your comments, and for ruining a perfectly good sports car, we'll see if we can find room for you in our lovely community. Remember to bring your checkbook. So, times are dire indeed. What can you do now to secure yourself some next-gen hardware without resorting to selling a kidney? Or making deals with that turkey monster? Well, first let's cure your chronic FOMO. For the uninitiated, FOMO stands for the fear of missing out, and it has been the driving force of countless terrible purchases through the ages. Cyberpunk never would have sold tens of millions of copies without a FOMO campaign that lasted for 7 years. Christmas wouldn't be the same without the annual FOMO like Furby or Tickle Me Elmo or the coveted dead eyes of a Teddy Ruxpin. Ugh. Anyways, FOMO can be a powerful marketing tool indeed, but I have the remedy for gaming FOMO right here, and I call it TAAG. There aren't any games. Right this minute, there are only a handful of exclusive titles available on the PS5, most of which are glorified tech demos and remakes. And the same goes for the Xbox Series X, which only seems to have a mediocre horror game where the developer decided to leave out the best part of their last game. You're such a good boy, Bullet. Yes, you are. You're a good boy. Everybody loves you. Moving on, there's no denying that this new hardware will take full advantage of all the K's and P's your brand new TV has to offer. But is that even a good thing? I mean, just think of all the glitchy details in an open world game like Cyberpunk and how that would look in 360p. Texture pop isn't a problem when the game is this blurry. And who needs ray tracing? I'd argue that at these times, ray tracing can be a detriment to my gaming experience. I mean, take a look at these two pictures from Quake 2. On the left, we have the original, gritty and dark experience brought to you in 1997. And on the right, it's bright, it's colorful. Yuck. And what about these two from Metro Exodus? Who's hiding in the corner of that dark room? Who cares? Just turn off RTX and the whole room glows for no reason. Less realistic, sure, but realism in gaming can be a blessing and a curse. Remember that Sonic movie? Yes, word on the street is that this hardware shortage won't be over until mid-2021, and that's the best case scenario. So, besides playing games on hardware that you already own, what else can you do to pass the time until your ship comes in? Literally. Dungeons and Dragons campaigns can be a great way to pass the time. Not only do the goals have a lot in common with most RPG games, but they can also be a great way to spend time with friends. To add a little spice to this concept, why not run a campaign in Dark Souls? Think the graphics of the remake look good? Well, nothing beats the graphics of your imagination. Your dungeon master will love murdering you for months on end, so that's a plus. And just wait until you roll evasion 87 times during a single boss fight. And what about the rest of your friends in the room? Well, this is a single player game, so they can watch and chat about just how bad you are at it. Think of it like playing on Twitch. D&D not your thing? Try starting your own YouTube channel. Share your opinions about gaming with like-minded folk on the internet and let your voice be heard. Maybe you could come up with a gimmick that requires you to stay in character and not break your accent repeatedly in every video. You'll be so excited for the whole dozens of views that you'll get after putting hours and hours of effort into each one. And before you know it, you'll be staring at a timeline in Adobe Premiere, wondering to yourself why anyone would consider doing this for a living. And maybe crying a little, watching tutorials on editing from Skillshare. YouTube is great. All hail the algorithm. Bottom line is, this too shall pass. Don't buy from Scalpers. Appreciate the amazing machinery that you have now, and by the time a game is released that is truly worthy of the next-gen moniker, hopefully the stock situation will be corrected. Unless Paperboy 3 comes out, then beg, borrow, or steal, and don't forget to buy my DLC, on sale now. And that's all from your favorite 1920s journalist, Teddy. For more on the greatest takes on the latest news, subscribe to this channel, and keep an eye out for the next issue of the Gamerville Gazette. Thanks for watching. Like what you see? Click on one of these links for more content. Also, check out the link to our Discord channel below to hang out with other residents of Gamerville. Catch the next issue soon.